Welcome back to Heart Echo Channel, where every story is a beat of life. Today, we're diving into a tale that proves love's memory can be stronger than its pain. This is the story of Mia and Jacob. In a quiet town in Colorado, where winter nights stretch long and the silence is often filled with memories, lived a young woman named Mia Thompson. Her story with Jacob Breed started like a brilliant sunrise, full of warmth and promise. But it ended in the heart of a storm. He was her first love, the kind of love that etches itself onto your soul and makes you believe that forever is not just a word, but a destination. They built a world together, brick by brick, with whispered secrets and shared dreams. But forever, as it often does, had other plans. One mistake, fueled by one night of raw anger, was all it took to shatter their perfect world. The air grew thick with harsh words, each one a dagger thrown without aim, but landing with precision. The conflict ended with the deafening sound of a slammed door, an echo that would haunt Mia for years. And just like that, Jacob walked away, leaving behind a silence so profound it felt like love had never existed at all. He vanished from her life as quickly as he had entered it, leaving Mia to navigate the wreckage alone. The years that followed were a long, arduous journey of rebuilding. Mia learned to piece herself back together, fragment by fragment. She taught herself to smile without the tremor of unshed tears, to find joy in solitude, and to sleep through the night without instinctively reaching for her phone, waiting for a message that would never arrive. She became a master of her own healing, transforming her pain into strength. She healed, yes, but the scar remained a faint, silvery line on her heart, a constant reminder of the love that was. Then, on an ordinary evening, just as the sun was painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, there was a knock on her door. It was a sound so simple, yet it would change everything. She opened it, and in that single moment, time seemed to freeze. Standing on her doorstep was Jacob. But this wasn't the reckless boy who had stormed out of her life. This was a man, and his eyes held the weight of 1,000 storms, filled with a regret so deep it looked like rain clouds ready to burst. His hands were trembling slightly as he held out a small, worn velvet box. Mia's heart hammered against her ribs. She took it, her fingers brushing his, a spark of familiarity in the cold night air. She opened it, and her breath caught in her throat. Lying inside on the faded lining was the necklace he had given her on their first anniversary. The very same one she had thrown into the icy river in a fit of grief and anger the day after he left. Jacob's voice, when he finally spoke, was barely a whisper, broken and fragile. "I dived for this last winter," he confessed, his gaze fixed on the necklace. "I spent days in that freezing water, because I finally realized love doesn't die. Pride does." Mia's breath trembled, a fragile thing in the sudden stillness of the room. The space between them grew heavy, thick with 3 years of unsaid words, unspoken apologies, and unanswered questions. He looked up, meeting her eyes, and continued softly, his voice filled with a vulnerability she hadn't heard since they were kids. "Mia, I didn't come back expecting you to forgive me. I know I don't deserve that. I just came to return what was yours, what I never should have let you lose." She stared at him, a battle raging within her. 3 long years of careful healing, of building walls around her heart, were now fighting against one single, powerful moment of remembering. Every instinct screamed at her to protect herself, to close the door and preserve the peace she had fought so hard to find. But then, she did something neither of them expected. She gently took his hand, her touch steady, and placed the necklace back into the box he held. Closing his fingers over it, she looked directly into his eyes and whispered, her voice clear and strong, "You can't fix a broken heart with an apology, Jacob, but you can start by not breaking it again." A wave of emotions washed over Jacob's face, pain and a fragile flicker of hope, all at once. He exhaled, a breath he seemed to have been holding for 3 years. In that moment, love didn't return perfectly, polished and new. It didn't erase the past or mend every crack, but it returned honestly. It returned with the understanding that scars are part of the story, not the end of it, and sometimes That's all a heart needs. It doesn't need to forget the pain or pretend the storm never happened. It just needs a chance to breathe again, to feel the sun on its face after a long, cold winter. Thank you for joining us on Heart Echo channel. If this story touched you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts in the comments below. We'll see you next time.